Our fourth mentor is Christine Sullivan. Christine is a production foreman, non-destructive testing technician with IMP Aerospace. Can you start by telling the students, first of all, what it is you do and a little bit about IMP?
Okay, so IMP is a defense aerospace company. So we take care of military airplanes for all countries around the world. So right now we have, oh my gracious, we have U.S. Hercules aircraft in-house. We have Canadian Hercules aircraft. We have the Canadian CH-149 aircraft, which are our cormorants that do search and rescue. We have the Canadian Auroras in-house for upgrade. We have Portugal aircraft coming in. So we have countries all over the world. We just had some Chile, some from Norway. We do big modifications to them, so electrical upgrades. So recently we just made their, we call it the glass cockpit, which basically means that we've upgraded them to a digital cockpit. So it's very interesting. All new rewiring in the aircraft. Some of our Auroras will come in here and get complete teardowns. So we will take all the guts out of it completely, just down to the shell, do some testing on it, rebuild things, repair things, put them back up, treat them, paint them, like the whole 9 yards happens here at IMP. As well, we also have a big engineering side, which does a lot of mechanical, electrical engineering, process engineering. We do it for all countries around the world. They will ask us to do different projects for them, and our team will find solutions for their issues, repairs for their problems. Yes, we have a very diverse group here. We also have in Hammonds Plains, we have a electronic systems company. They're our sister. So they actually created the Canadarm on the International Space Station, which is really interesting. Yeah, so we've had some pretty big things come through IMP in the last 20 years. It's been very interesting working here, definitely.
That is amazing. It's interesting because I think a lot of people don't know that IMP exists here in Nova Scotia, and that they hear things like this and they're like, holy smokes, this is incredible.
Exactly.
And the opportunities that exist. I'm going to leave a question, the next question up for Anna.
Yeah, this is awesome. It's really cool hearing about all the innovation and how the world is coming here for you guys to work on that stuff. That's awesome. And I was just wondering, now we're talking about how awesome this job is, but I'm wondering what kind of training and experience, education you would need to get into this skill trade.
Okay, so for myself, I came in, I went to school as a aircraft structural repair technician. So I actually started on the floor as a mechanic and worked there for probably about 4 years. I then went into the planning side of the world, which I believe you guys talked with our planning manager last week. So I did that for another couple of years. I was the control center supervisor, and then I came in to become the foreman of non-destructive testing, as well as the process shop and the quality control lab. So my title doesn't really specify everything I do, but yeah, so I started out as a mechanic, but you can also start, oh my gracious, engineers. We have occupational health and safety people here. Like there's a lot of different avenues you can go through to get into our company. A lot of positions. Yeah, definitely.
I'm wondering a little bit more about what is the non-destructive testing side of things about?
That's actually a really interesting side of things. So what happens is a technician will go out on the floor. He'll see maybe what he thinks is a crack on, let's say, an angle. So we'll spray some liquid penetrant dye on it, let it sit for a little while, dry it, then rinse it off, and we'll use black lights. And the black lights the dye will stick to the crack. So the black lights will bring it out. It'll glow. It's really interesting. We also have a magnetic particle machine that does similar. So they will put a chemical on it, and then when they put the magnetic to it, it will stick to the area that's damaged. So it's very interesting how it all works. Yeah. And we also have with the non-destructive testing, there's also eddy current as well. So with the eddy current, it sends a sound down, and they will be able to see where it bounces back. It's very interesting stuff.
That sounds really cool. Thank you for explaining that to me.
No problem.
So Christine, when you started, I think you said it was an aircraft
structural repair technician.
Yeah. Where did you do that training?
So I was born and raised in Gander, Newfoundland. So aerospace was huge in our community, especially September 11th. We kind of doubled our size in overnight. So aerospace is big in that area. So I went to the College North Atlantic in Gander, which this is a 9-month program. And then once you come out, depending on where you go to work, you can write licensing through Transport Canada and become a licensed aircraft structural maintenance engineer. Yeah, it's very interesting. So we would take like, let's say we do find that cracked angle with NDT. The structural repair technician would come out, they will cut out that section, splice in a new section, make a repair doubler to go over top, make it nice and strong and sturdy again, so there's no concerns. They carry out all the structural components.
It's amazing. So, and we've been talking a lot as we're on these skilled trades calls with the experience of females. So can you speak a little bit about, first of all, being the aircraft structural mechanic and then NDT, and also can you speak to the education side of, or the training required for NDT as well?
So NDT, they go to, there's a program in Port aux Basques, Newfoundland, that you would go to. I believe it's also a 9-month program. So they would go through that. Then there's approximately like a 6-year apprenticeship program. So the way it works is you would go to work, you work so many hours, then you can write your exam to get that specific ticket. And eventually it is about 6 years and you will get all of your tickets. So that's a really interesting field. Sorry, what was the other part of the question?
Just as, you know, how many females when you did both of those courses, and has that changed since you did yours, do you think?
So when I did mine, there was 4 females in the program out of about, I think there was about 35 of us. So it actually wasn't a bad number considering at the time, because that was back in 2002. So it's about 20 years ago now since I did it. Now there's quite a few more going through the programs. I actually keep in contact with the director of the Gander School, and yeah, they have quite a number. And even working here at IMP on the floor, there's probably, there's got to be 15 females working on the floor as technicians nowadays, which is quite a big number. Plus all up through the ranks to like our director of programs is a female. We have program managers who are females. Our director of human resources. So we have, there are a lot of women in the aerospace industry now, and not just in the traditional careers, which is really great to see. Yeah, it's lovely. And I find that they're giving, the women now are getting more opportunities as well. It's not such a male-based position anymore. So that when you're trying for these things, it's a level playing field, which is really great to see.
That's fantastic. And where you say like all these other, you know, sort of hats or jobs that you're doing, perhaps, and IMP Aerospace will be in the showcase for the expo portion after this call, but can you talk a little bit about, you know, how those opportunities for you to grow your career and learn more, how did those happen? Like, did you need more training, or was that in sort of internal training and support for you to move through like that?
Absolutely. So when I left when I came in as a technician, I had spent the 4 years. So to go to planning, it was just a matter of applying, because I already knew the processes of how things work because I had worked in production. So that one was just a regular, just to apply and get the position. When it came to becoming a foreman, just before I became a foreman, INP put on a supervisor low-level management training program through NSCC. And it was all done in-house, but our tuition and everything was paid through IMP. So I took advantage of that program, completed that program, and shortly after that, they moved me into this new position of the foreman of NDT Process Shop and QC Lab. Now I've been doing that for about 2.5 years, but it's great because in the process shop, we do things like treating our metal. So to keep it from corroding, we do heat treating of metal, so we can take the soft metal and turn it into a hard formed part. It's there's a lot of interesting things that go on in the shop. In the treatment shop, it's the first thing that goes on when you paint an airplane. So it goes underneath it's what makes the paint stick, basically. So it's really neat to see how they do that. And then on the quality side of things, I get to all of the tools that come back into IMP from being calibrated. I take care of all of that, send them out to their respective tool cribs, make sure that all the paperwork's up to date, everything is running smoothly. So it's a busy life, but it's a great life. I love it.
That's super, and amazing, all the opportunity that has been presented to you. And again, when we think about opportunity for young people in Nova Scotia, that's incredible. Anna, what question do you have for Christine?
I'm just wondering, like, what is the most challenging part of your job, and what is the part that you love the most?
Oh, good question. What I love the most, I think, is so many people, so much diversity at IMP. I absolutely love that. Like, there's not a day goes by that I don't meet somebody that I didn't already know, which is quite amazing. We have such a huge amount of people here. It's so great. And I think one of the other things I love, I've been here, it'll be 19 years this October, and I'm still every single day learning something new. Like, that to me is just phenomenal, because no one wants to sit there and do the monotony every day of got to enter this on this line, got to do this on that line. That gets boring over time. So it's great to have something new every single day. Um, I don't know that there's anything that I don't like about my job, to be honest. It's exactly what I would choose. Again, if I had to go back and do it all over again. As for difficulties, um, I don't know that I have any. It's so great because there's so many people here with so much knowledge that there's always someone you can ask to help fix the problem super easy. Yeah.
That's so great. And I think that's a common theme we've been seeing today. A lot of people saying, in the skilled trades, there's a lot of different, every day is different every time you do something. But I'm sure you have to have a lot of adaptability for that, right?
Absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, there's days that I come in here, like say after 19 years, I'm doing something that I've never done before, I've never seen before. So, and I've been through a lot of departments, so for me to see something new, it's quite interesting actually, because when you come from all different avenues, you kind of get to see the whole picture.
That sounds super interesting. So I'll do that.
That's great. Christine, we're just going to invite, it takes a minute for students to get their questions through the teacher into the chat. So we will wait and see if there are any questions out there. It's amazing to have you here. Is there something we haven't touched on that you think you'd like the students to consider, before you leave them, about their future, or what things to think about when they're planning what to do for their career?
Yeah, I think looking into the aerospace industry, if it's something you're interested in, is great, because right now a lot of our workforce is aging. So a lot of the technicians are retiring. The amount of job openings right now is astronomical in the industry. Not just here, like Air Canada, WestJet, they're all hiring and all looking for a huge amount of people. So if it's something you're interested in, it's definitely a lifetime career choice. There's going to be work forever. Yeah.
That's amazing. I don't see any questions in the chat yet. Anna, is there anything that we didn't touch on?
I don't think so, but I think one thing we could ask is just if there's any advice that you would give to a student who may be interested in the same skilled trade, or if they thought this presentation is cool, what advice would you give to them?
I would actually I'd tell them to look at the websites for different companies, have a look and see the different things that the different techniques, the different job opportunities, because maybe you like aerospace, but maybe you think, well, I don't know that I want to be a mechanic, or maybe I don't want to be a structures tech, or there's just so much out there in this industry. Like the engineering, we have drafts people, so maybe the technical side of things is your thing. IT people, like there's anything you can think of that you might be interested in is here. So, and even if you just reach out to an employee of the company, often if you look on the websites, there will be contact information. They absolutely will answer any questions and help out in any way.
Thank you.
No problem.
That's amazing. Thank you so much, Christine, for being here. And I do want to just remind, after we take a few minutes to complete surveys, that there is the opportunity to join the expo. And I'll talk about that, but IMP, Aerospace, and Defense will be represented there as well. Christine, great to meet you. Maybe we'll meet you again in the future. Hope you'll come back someday.
Absolutely. I'd love to.
Super. Thank you so much.
Great. Have a good day.
Take care.